Hey guys, Lemon02. I want to share this epic level game. This is probably one of the best games of 100 card I've played in a long time. So this is a game 3. We are 1-1 right now playing against Johnny Rowe. He's on a mid-range Orzhov or black-white deck that runs the Necro as its engine and has some mid-range threats as well as just some over-the-top threats. Most of its stuff can gain life, so it works with the potence effectively. We're playing an Esper, but really Azorius. Control shell that I've been testing and putting together and probably put a couple videos up by this point. This opener on the draw is okay. It's not very fast, but I know his deck is not exceedingly fast either. I know I'm going to hit my mana. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it, especially with 2 mana counterspell, Logic Knot on turn 2. I can use it as a Force Spike, and then get to Complicate and hopefully make my next land drop, and then get to Jace the Mind Sculptor, because Jace is awesome. So we go ahead and he leads off with the Phyrexian Furnace, which kind of takes away our Logic Knot, and our draw there is pretty bad, seeing a Phyrexian Furnace. He has a very fast draw, but he's down on cards. He has a Thalia out very early, which is going to be problematic because it makes my Scalding Tarn a lot worse. I opt to play out the Island here over the Scalding Tarn, although I know it's going to slow me down some in the mid-game, because I know he runs Necropotence, I know he has a bunch of Planeswalkers, and I really think I need to have Negate up here so I just don't die. So I get smashed by this thing. He plays out an Orzhov Basilica, puts a land back, does nothing. So I guess my fears were unfounded. I have to play my land out sheepishly here, the Scalding Tarn, and know that it's going to have to fetch an island the turn after. Although, even here, I wouldn't be likely to want to fetch. Although, in this case, Thalia allows... actually, I would have been able to stop this regardless. He still has 3 mana up. So he gets Stoneforge Mystic and finds the Sword of Fire and Ice, which is a big problem for us. So we consider what we have to do here for a bit. I debate just playing Jace out, but Jace will just die. So what I end up doing is I know I'm going to have to take a sword hit. Like, I can't stop the sword. I don't have a disallow or anything like that. So I personal tutor for Terminus, so it forces him not to play any creatures out and just to maximize his damage on this next turn. He's also going to have to leave the Stoneforge back because he'll have to utilize it to play around counter magic. If he just tries to cast it, I'll easily eat it. I'll get the sword with Negate or with, Mist or Logic Knot. He goes ahead and plays his sword out, equips sword up, overtaps a little bit there, and then smashes us for 7 here, putting us down to, I believe, 6. We are in a horrendous spot in this game. So right now, I think, I know I can deal with the board as is, but if he has much more that he's drawn off this or that he's drawn into, just period, like, I'm in a lot of trouble here. So I know I'm going to live through these 2 critters at least. I hit Terminus. Go ahead and pop the Terminus because I have to. I'm just going to die if I don't. And leave up Negate, Complicate, and Logic Knot. Logic Knot, obviously not so hot with a Phyrexian Furnace still. So he goes ahead and fetches, which means those 2 cards we put on the bottom are anywhere in his library. Unbeknownst to us, he has Thalia, which is not great for us. So I cycle the Complicate because I need to get into like a Wrath or more gas at this point. I find a Myriad Landscape, which is not great considering I'm under lethal threat here. He redraws the Stoneforge Mystic, which is kind of laughable. I think at this point in time I put an Ellipses in the checks. I'm just like, Jesus. So he's got a Batter Skull in hand and then an Unknown. We get very lucky here and draw our Engineered Explosives to draw the game out. I probably should have popped it on my turn, but I didn't want any main 1 shenanigans. And like the Batter Skull, I have to beat it anyways. Although I think a stronger line from him would have been leave the Stoneforge back and put the Batter Skull in play in response. But he has this play. So he has Sorin Markov, which I don't think is a great card, but it's going to kill me here. So I have 3 turns with Sorin Markov. Well, really 1 more until I'm dead. I go ahead and preordain my draw for the turn. Put these 2 on the bottom because I don't need counter magic right now. I need Oblivion Ring or, something like that. I go ahead and play Jace out because I figure if Jace is going to die, he's going to die. I play out the tapped land there and leave Maze of Ith on top because it can actually do something. He Tainted Packs just trying to find a creature. I believe he finds a Gul'Dra's Assassin. Any creature really does it here because it's protected from Jace. We go ahead and draw our Maze of Ith, which is very nice here, that he Tainted Packed for a creature. We find Disallow, which means we can actually stay alive. So I don't really want the Helm. Even though the Helm does lead to fast wins, I don't have enough mana here to do it. I have a Shuffle effect in the Myriad Landscape, so my plan here is to disallow the Sorin Markov trigger, or activated ability rather, and utilize Maze to fog him out. And then before he passes the turn back, fetch with the Myriad Landscape, finding Plains Island. And on the following turn, utilize Impulse to find an answer. So we Impulse, find the Enlightened Tutor for Oblivion Ring, because I'm down to 1 mana. Go ahead and Oblivion Ring the Soren Markov and leave up Negate and Logic Knot. He goes ahead and cycles his Phyrexian Furnace. Tries to slam the Batterskull, which we promptly negate. I believe he overtaps for it a bit. And he's low on time right now. We end up negating this. Although I'd rather save negate, I can't deal with the other creature right now. I don't have an answer readily available. I could find a Wrath, but I know I have Ponder. I find Sphinx's Rev, which is a good one to find. But really right here, I just want to leave up Counter Magic. I go ahead and top him. I see Disenchant. I immediately get rid of the Disenchant, because the Disenchant would just mean he wins. He finds a Great Merchant of Asphodel instead. We go ahead and Mystic Confluence this, drawing 1 card, the island, off the top of our deck, knowing that we have Ancient Den on top at this point. So we draw the Den. We go ahead and just draw because we know he can fetch, so whatever we put on top is not going to stay on top. We could go for a Treasure Cruise here, but it's because I know my top 2 cards, I opt just to leave up the Counter Magic plus the Factor Fiction until I can find a way to fetch or a way to shuffle my library. He goes ahead and finds his own Oblivion Ring, and goes ahead and casts it out. At this point, we Logic Knot for the whole enchilada, leaving our graveyard alone because we know he's at 0 cards, so tapping out, this forces him to pay 7 additional. He only has 6 mana available. And he runs out of time here, but this is actually the game. So pretty, I don't know, just the sheer volume of variance that went into this game was pretty amazing. I think we did the best we could to find a line to win, and we ended up winning. But the game itself was just out of this world, like just crazy swings. You know, I thought I was extremely dead. Was there a way you could have killed me? I think possibly. I don't know. I have to go back and look at his lines of play, given all the knowledge I have. And I have perfect knowledge of his hand at this point, or his hand throughout the game at this point, just due to how the game played out. But, yeah, Jace the Mind Sculptor, a hell of a card. And Azorius Control winning the game at 2 life against numerous lethal threats. So, very cool game. I hope you guys enjoyed this pretty exciting game of Magic the Gathering in the 100-card singleton format. All right, guys, take care now and enjoy.